Math 3, Unit 1, Section 1, and this one is on writing equations. So, going back to Monday, we drew our equations. Now they're giving us the line or the quadratic function, and we have to write the equation. We're going to use this information to help us, okay? Here we go. Linear, line. These are in the form y equals mx plus b. But remember how we added the zeros in, okay? For each of these, you notice that there are 2 points on the graph that are going to help you, okay? So I'm going to write each of the points down. We have 0, 0, and then the other point they wrote out was here at negative 1, 2, 3, negative 1. So all I did is just wrote the ordered pairs for each of those points. When you're writing your equation, we are going to start by writing y equals m, and then I want us to use our starting point, and for all these graphs we're going to use the 0, 0 starting point, and so I write that as x plus 0 in parentheses plus 0. Do we remember all of that? Okay, good. Now, in order to find slope, and there is more than one way to find a slope, I just want us to practice doing it this way because it'll help us in the future, is by plugging in this x and y value, and then we will solve for m. So instead of writing y right now, I'm going to write good, negative 1 equals m, parenthesis, and what is my x value? Good. Negative 3 plus 0, and then plus 0 at the end. And now I'm going to simplify and solve for m. So, negative 1 equals, what is negative 3 plus 0?
Negative 3.
Very good. And so I have m times negative 3, and I'm not going to put the plus 0 at the end because adding 0 doesn't change it. Is everybody okay with that? And then you might have written this as negative 3m. That's also good. So I want m by itself. What will I need to do? Divide by negative 3 to both sides. And that means that m equals what? Positive 1/3. Because a negative divided by a negative makes a positive. So when we write this equation, we come back to this. And so I'm going to write this as y equals 1/3 x. Now, you could write 1/3 x plus 0 in parentheses plus 0. But when you see the equations, they'll end up simplifying it to just be this without the zeros.
So it's fine if you write it down?
Yes. But remember, like next week, we'll have it where there actually might be numbers in these locations, and then you would keep them. Okay, but zeros we don't have to keep. Okay, questions before the next equation? Okay, quadratic equation. That is y equals ax squared. We're going to write our 2 points. Our vertex point we know is at 0, 0. Okay, the other point is what ordered pair?
3, 2.
Very good, 3, 2 is correct. So just like I did on the previous one, we're going to put our vertex in to the equation. So I'm going to write this as y equals a and then x plus 0 squared plus 0.
Did that precede the S's result?
Yeah, that's standing for point. Sorry, you don't even have to put that there if you don't want to. Okay, this is x, this is y. We are going to plug these values into this equation so we can solve for a. So when I write this now, I'm going to write it as 2 equals a parenthesis 3 plus 0 squared plus 0. So I'm just plugging in my x and y so that I can solve for a. what is 3 plus 0? 3. So a little shortcut here. I'm just going to cross that out and write a 3. And what is 3 squared? 9. So that means I actually have 2 equals 9a. Because I don't have to add the 0 because it doesn't do anything. If you put a times 9, that's fine too. Okay, but it's 9a. And then what will I do next to get a by itself? Divide by 9 to both sides. So those cancel out. And a equals 2/9. So how do I write that equation now? Good. Y equals 2/9 x squared is correct. Now, could you put 2/9 and then x plus 0 squared plus 0? Yes. Okay, either way will work. Questions before we move on to the next one? Okay. So linear equations are y equals a absolute value of x. Okay, so my starting point or my vertex is 0, 0. And the additional point that they have marked on here is what? 2, 4. Good, 2, 4. So we're going to do the same thing again. Okay, we're going to write this with our zeros first. So y equals a absolute value of x plus 0 plus 0. And again, I'm writing this because these zeros come from the vertex. Sometimes my vertex will be at a different point, so I'd put different numbers here. Now we're going to plug in the other point with x and y so we can solve for a. So we take these and plug them in and we get 4 equals a absolute value of 2 plus 0 plus 0. What is 2 plus 0? 2. What is the absolute value of 2? 2. So that means I have 4 equals 2a. Are we okay with that? And so our next step would be to divide by 2 to both sides. These cancel out, and a equals 2. So now that you have a, we can write our equation. And so my equation will be what?
Y equals 2 with x near lines.
Absolute value of x. Okay, any questions? All right, exponential functions. These are y equals b to the x power. Okay, we have 2 points. We have the point 0, 1, which we know is like our starting point or our 0, 0 point. And then we also have the point, very good, 3, 8. Okay, on this problem, again, we're going to start with y equals b to the x power, and we're just going to plug in our x and our y value to solve for b. So, we are going to write this as what? And how could you solve for b? What would you need to do? Not divide, but cubed root. Good, yeah. So it's a cubed root because it's a cubed power. Okay, and so when you take the cubed root of b cubed, you get b, and the cubed root of 8 is 2. Because remember that 8 is actually 2 times 2 times 2. So there's 3 2's, which makes it 2. Okay? And so what will my equation for this be? Y equals 2 to the x power. All right. Questions? Okay. Let's do this exponential one. Okay? Do you think you're ready to try this one on your own?
Yes. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, give this one a try.
Okay.
When you have the answer, raise your hand. I'm just going to check a couple of you.
You already got it. That's racist. I got it from
So the whole equation, the gas.
Okay, I got it.
B is 3. Okay, good. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the correct answer is y equals 3 to the x power.
I was right about to get it.
So, this equation, it starts out as y equals b to the x power. We have this point right here. Let me move this up, sorry. And that is your x and your y. So when I plug those into my equation, I have 27 equals b to the third power. In order to solve for b, I take the cubed root of both sides. What's the cubed root of 27? 3. And the cubed root of b cubed is? B. Good. And so my answer is y equals 3 to the x power, because we're taking that and substituting it in for b. Okay. Try the next exponential function problem. Yeah. Once you figure out what the base is, you can show me on your fingers and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. So we're doing this problem here now. You can show me with your fingers when you get it. Good, 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 good.
Show you this though, bro.
No, yes. Good, good. No, yes.
What am I supposed to do?
Oh, that works. Yeah. Yes. Can I do what before we leave?
The sugar bomb.
What? Yeah, we're going to do all of them. Good. Okay, so here we go. Some of you made a silly mistake, I think. Y equals b to the x. Again, I'm using this point. As soon as I start talking, you stop. Shh. Okay, so we get 100 equals b to the second power. Since this is a second power, I take just a square root. I took a cubed root when there was a 3 up here, but I take a square root when there's a 2. And what is the square root of 100? 10. So 10 equals b. Does that make sense now? So we have y equals 10 to the x power for my equation. Any questions? Okay, let's move over to our line here. For time's sake, we're going to do it the shortcut way. So we know it is y equals mx plus 0 plus 0. What's another way that we could find the slope besides plugging in points?
You count it out right at
Good. My m on this one is up 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1, 4 left 1. So 4 over 1 makes my m equal to negative 4. So y equals negative 4x is that equation. Yes? Say that again. You already have your worksheet? But you guys need to stay for like 10 more minutes, I think. Can you bear with me? Okay. All right, I'll try to go faster for some of you that have to leave a little bit early. Okay, this line right here, this is a special line. This line is only going through what? What value is this here?
3.
Y equals -3. Okay? Remember those special cases on the previous page? Anytime you have a horizontal or vertical line, it's a special case, and it's either x equals or y equals. Okay, next one. Parabola. Okay, y equals a parenthesis x plus 0 squared plus 0. Our starting point, our vertex, 0, 0. What is my other point?
4, 6. I mean, -4, -6.
-4, -5. Close. So that's x and y. We're plugging them in. -5 equals a parenthesis -4 plus 0 squared plus 0. Bless you. Okay, -4 plus 0 is what? -4. And what is -4 squared? Good. So that means we have -5 equals 16a. Are we okay with that? No?
Sure, yeah.
So -4 plus 0 is -4, and -4 squared made 16.
Oh, okay.
And so I just kind of did that in my head there, if that's okay. Are we good now?
Now what?
Okay. Divide by
6.
16 to both sides. So my a value is -5 over 16. How do I write my equation?
Y equals
-5 over 16 x squared.
Good. That negative, it doesn't matter if it's with the top or the bottom. If you have a negative, it's just with that number. Okay? Next one here. Okay, again, my vertex is at 0, 0. And the additional point is at 4, -2. We have y equals a absolute value, x plus 0 plus 0. Plug in the x and y value. -2 equals a absolute value of 4 plus 0 plus 0. Here, I'll move this over here a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so we're right here. Are we good? What's 4 plus 0? 4. So we get -2 equals, what's the, 4a. Good. We then divide by 4, and so a equals what?
-1/2.
So what will be my equation?
Y equals -1/2 absolute value.
Okay. All right, these last two down here. Try this one here on your own first. Once you get the answer, check it with someone in your group.
Y equals 1x squared.
Oh my.
Okay, I was gonna have somebody come up and do this one, but you want to?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, come on up.
You're not down. Oh, wait, didn't you already do it?
I just started it. We have to plug in and find A.
Raisins chair, you might not be able to see over this.
I had to do it all the way over here?
Oh my god, man, I want to see your crappy.
Wow, you made it so complicated. Oh, never mind. 1 and 2. So. So I get a candy. I did talk.
So some days only need 10 and other days okay, so I'm not sure if you saw everything that Kathel did here, but 2 plus 0 equals 2. 2 squared is 4, and then we divide by 4 to both sides to get a equals 1. Do you have to write the 1 in front? No. If you wanted to, you can, but it's unnecessary. Okay, last one here. I will take another volunteer to come up and do the problem. And just, you know, anytime you volunteer and actually come up here and do the problem, you earn a candy. Does anybody? Max, you're going to come do it? Okay, Max is coming up.
Wait, which one? That one?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so next Max is plugging in the -2 values for x and for y. And he's simplifying. You just can't quite see it. And so remember that the absolute value of -2 ends up making that a +2. And then you divide by 2 to both sides and you get a equals -1.
That's a 1.
And so that means for this equation,
So it's
it will be y equals,
right?
close. So since a is -1, make sure that you have a negative out in front or a -1. So it's negative absolute value of x. Good job. Okay?
Now I'm thinking.
And that's it. Do we have any questions?